Assalamu alaikum dear students. Today we will discuss about the economics. What are the curriculum we have to study and what are the possible ways to study that curriculum. First of all, I would like to explain the paper pattern. There will be two papers. One is paper 1 and one is paper 2. Paper 1 will be consist of the 30 MCQs which you have to go through, and after that paper 2 is of structured question. Remaining all the things are same as you have learned in my business video last time which I have shared you people. Okay, and now if I proceed further that what are the basic things in that, then अगर हम content overview में जाते हैं तो the basic economic problem को first of all discuss करेंगे, then the allocation of the resources. These two chapters are as same as your business subject studies has, and then we will move on to the microeconomic decisions. Once we have cleared the microeconomics decisions, this will cover our micro parts. Now we have to move on to the macroeconomy or the macroeconomics. In microeconomics, we do study about the individuals and the single firms. When we move on to the macroeconomics, that will study industries and the economy of your country or whole of the country. Over there, we will talk about the single and individual demands, but when we will move on to the macroeconomics, we will study aggregate or industrial or whole of the population. Let's move further. When we will discuss the economic development, with which we will discuss what are the difference between developed and developing economies, then international trade and globalization, what are the factor influence and what are the factor impact of the international trade and globalized trade. As you know that the world is global village now, so we have to keep an eye on the other side, which is part of the macroeconomics. Now that is a brief description of the paper 1 and paper 2. Paper 1 consists of multiple choice 30%, 30 marks, and paper 2 consists of the structured questions that will have 70%, that is the 90 marks. So overall marks will be 90 plus 30, 120. And if we move on to the evaluation process, the same knowledge analysis and evaluation. Percentage is a bit different over there, knowledge 40%, and then we have to move on analysis 40%, over here evaluation 20%. Okay, remaining things are as like business studies. Now move on to the basic subject contents. Then the first is the basic economic problem, why the economic has been created, the factor of production as we have studied before in our business group, opportunity cost, you better have an idea. Then the production possible curve, this one is a new thing. Then allocation of resources, these are different resources and how we allocate that, and what are the decision making in allocation the resources. Then market allocating resources, the role of market demand the things and you will produce that thing. So ultimately whatever the market is demand, your overall twist or your overall resources will be trickled toward that thing. Okay ji, then we will study demand, law of demand, then supply, law of supply, elasticity impacts, and then further price determination and price changes. These are all the parts of demand and supply, which are two forces. Then we will move on to the next, that is the market economic system. What the market is, how market influence, what is the market failure, when government have to intervention, when not. Then is the mixed economic system. There are private and public sector collaboration. Then money, how the money is being created, what are the basic history of the money, why the money is so important, and what are the way of trade before the money. Then households, these are the singles, then the workers, and trade unions, why the trade unions are created, firms, classification of firms as we have studied in the business, sole trader, partnership, merger, acquisitions, all the things over here. Firm and production is the most important thing. Production में cost को discuss करेंगे, break evens and these kind of things over here. Then the cost, evaluation of cost, affiliation of different costs like fixed cost and variable cost. Market structure is there. Then the role of government, how the government is being influencing the decision. And then we will move on to the macroeconomic policies. Macroeconomic may then we have to study what are the government objectives, what are the fiscal policy and the monetary policy. These are the two tools by which government control your economy. Then the government policies to control your economy. One is the supply side, other is the demand side. These are two policies we have to study. Then economic growth, in which we will study that what are the developing, what are the developed, and what are employment, unemployment, rate of unemployment, how we calculate these things. Then inflation, deflation, and amalgamation, how we calculate the inflation and inflation rates. And then living standard, how HDI, human development index, or GDP is contributing to the living standard. As we know that the GDP will improve the living standard. Then poverty level, and how much population is living below the poverty, how can we can control, and what is the absolute poverty, what is the relative poverty. Everything will be explained over here. Then the population, how the population is influenced the decision making in the macroeconomic policies. Differences in economic development between countries. Some countries are more developed, some are less developed, some are developing. Then international specialization at national level. And what about the nations which are having the competitive advantage and which are specialized in certain field, how they could use that specialization with the help of economy scale to get a competitive edge over the others. These kind of things will be studied in that. Then globalization, now we are being in a globalized, we can communicate, the word is in our palm. So we will see the what the word is doing, what are the production method, how we can contribute our things, how we can control MNCs, how we can grow our local industries against the international one. Then is the foreign exchange rate, that's the exchange rate policy, what are the exchange rate, how exchange rate can affect your trade and trade policies, how your exchange rate influence the imports and exports. Everything will be discussed in that in this chapter. Then current account and the balance of payment. The balance of payment is between your account payable and account receivable, basically dependent upon your imports and exports. So this is whole of your syllabus, and it's quite comprehensive syllabus which will help you till your masters. These things will be remain continue till your master, although their depth will be increased. So this is all about your topics. Now I will further try to elaborate in my next videos about the different topics. We will start step by step. Hope you will find it informative.